Huh? Who are you? What are you doing here? What? Privateer? Earth? Pilsner? Trim? Sub-Aether? Please, slow down. Look, I seriously didn't expect any visitors, and you really startled me. Could you please repeat what you were saying? The Pillman station. Oh, the one we're on? Hasn't sent its sub-Aether transponder signal for a year. So the triumvirate government on Earth finally decided to investigate it? And you're the privateer hired to check the place out and interview its crew of 3. Crew of 3 male scientists. Oh. Okay, I know what this must look like, but don't worry, there's a completely logical explanation for everything. Who am I? Right. If you check the database, you'll see that there was a senior researcher, Snow, here. I'm his daughter. How did I get here? Well, I stowed on board the transport ship, of course. My weight was well within the safety margin. Mr. Snow, Dad, was disappointed at first, but he forgave me after some time. Where's everyone else? Oh, they all passed away. From what? Well, you know what they were studying here, right? About the planet we're orbiting? You don't? How could they send someone without telling them? Very well. You must have noticed that the planet exudes color like a rainbow. That's because its surface is filled with inexplicable artifacts and anomalies. They said that they've seen nothing like it in the entire galaxy. It's believed to be of alien origin. The samples and artifacts discovered are all truly wondrous, but also really dangerous. A virus that developed on the surface got to them. I was unfazed by it, somehow. And the ship connected to the opposite docking port? Oh yeah, that. What about it? It has a search warrant? Right. That's bad. You suspect I'm part of the crew that has attacked the station? What? No, you've got to believe me. I haven't done anything. Hey, don't grab me. I promise to tell the truth this time. Just please let go. What's happening to my arm? Well, you see... Please, look away. Don't come any closer. How did you even find me so quickly? My lab coat peeked out from under the door. Oh, damn. I forgot I had actual clothing on. As I said, please don't look at me. It must be pretty clear now that I'm not exactly human, and I don't want to frighten you. Yes, I've been lying, but only because I thought it would be easier for the both of us. You want to know the complete story? Right. I'll tell you what happened. That planet is indeed dangerous. I never lied about that. And the equipment for recovering things was built with the safety of the researchers in mind. Unfortunately, that also makes it rather imprecise. Because of that, every single crew in the history of the station has eventually hired privateers to go down to the surface for them, which is, as they explained to me, highly illegal. It's not only forbidden because of the danger down there, but because most privateers aren't always the most moral bunch. If they figure out how something works before the scientists, they might very well sell it to the highest bidder. Before the radio silence began, the crew received some truly rare readings from the surface. There had only been 1 or 2 sightings like that in the history of the station. They aimed the station's machinery at the area, but had no luck with it. And according to their calculations, time was running short. Finally, they had an emergency meeting where they voted on going against regulations. Drs. Snow and Blair supported the plan, but Fisher was opposed to it. Yes, that's when the communications to Earth were cut. It was only supposed to last for a short while, but that's also where I came in. The commissioned privateers landed where the readings originated and found a lot of interesting items as well as taking samples. According to the deal between them and the scientists, they had 2 days to have a look at it on their own before turning them in. Back then, I was just an amorphous mass in a bucket, apparently filled from a larger pool on the surface. Fortunately, they were unsuccessful at all of their attempts, and the two parties finally made contact. As Snow and Fisher discussed the payment, Blair started cataloging everything. He stirred the bucket's material with his gloved hand, and according to the scientists, that's when I first emerged. My actual memories begin a couple days later. The material began slowly mimicking a human arm and everything else like that. Unfortunately, it was at the worst possible juncture, since the privateers immediately demanded more payment or threatened to take me away. The situation quickly developed into a fight. I'm really glad I don't remember any of it. The scientists were poorly armed and outnumbered, but managed to come out on top. Blair had to be rushed to the infirmary and Fisher's leg was broken, but they were still very proud of their achievement. Oh, yes, they then proceeded to study me, but they were very nice and careful about it. A lot kinder than the spaceship crew would have been, I'm sure. They had a lot of questions they wanted answers for. How was my new form so close to a human with just a few exceptions? Why was I female when I had been mostly surrounded by men? Was I the result of an evolutionary process or some form of genetic engineering? They had some minor breakthroughs. For example, they found something likely comparable to your chromosomes that could explain my gender. The biggest breakthrough came when we found out I could change my appearance with enough concentration. You want to take a look at the real me now? Are you sure? I guess it's fine. Just promise you won't be frightened. Yeah, this is me. My skin is all blue because it doesn't have any melanin like yours. They gave me a book on anatomy, and I believe I've got all the proper parts. You think I'm very pretty? Why, thank you. Dr. Snow thought so too, I think. Fisher and Blair wanted me to practice changing shapes as often as possible, but Snow always stepped in after I got tired. Fisher also wanted to dub me a xenomorph, but apparently it had some negative connotations, so they settled on xenomimic. Snow was adamant about that as well. What was he like? A bit more reserved than the other two. A bit older as well, I think. He was always ready to answer any questions I had about Earth and the rest of the galaxy. He once told me he had always wanted offspring, but was never able to have any. I guess I was sort of a surrogate for him. He was the closest thing I had to a father, I'm sure. In the end, they all agreed that Earth couldn't know about me. They feared I would be treated badly, or made to use my ability for immoral purposes. That's why the radio silence lasted so long. What happened to them all? I sort of already explained to you. Remember Blair's injuries? He spent most of his time in the sickbay recovering. Apparently, he also picked up a virus that the spaceship crew had transmitted. Over time, Blair grew weaker, and the others got infected as well. I had to watch them spend their last days around me. The virus couldn't infect my system, and after all this time, I'm sure it's perished. Yes, I've been all alone here for the past 7 or 8 months. It was a very interesting place at first, but I'm fairly used to it now. The station computer is filled with all sorts of books, shows, and games I've been able to spend my time on. Sometimes I just like to stare at the planet, or the stars out there. To be completely honest with you, it has been very lonely since the others passed away. It's nice talking to someone after such a long time. Thanks for that. What? You're sorry for grabbing me earlier? No worries, I get where you were coming from. Since you're here to investigate, do you know if they'll send another crew? They probably will? Oh. I guess you'll have to include me in your report then. What? You won't? Isn't the government paying you for a thorough job? You don't have the best history with them, and the payment's the same anyhow. Why, thank you. I'm just wondering where I'll go now. You think I could come with you? Really? 2 spare hands and all that? Great. You definitely won't regret this. I'm a really fast learner, apparently. You'll just need a few hours to complete your report? Perfect. I'll pack my belongings and finally say goodbye to this place. I hope this can be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I'm so tempted to make the sound effect of knocking furniture over myself, but I don't want to disturb my neighbors. God, I wish I could just flip this chair over. It'd be so fun. Damn it.